morning on this Friday, March the 28th. You're watching the VSB Evening News. I'm Kristen Martinez, and here's our top story. Although Best has welcomed the decision of the developer of the Pink Beach Hotel site to seek an environmental impact assessment and statement in the application published today, residents living in the nearby Hidden Cove estate and other areas have been alarmed to find no mention of the private mansion that the new owner, British millionaire Stephen King, has declared he plans to build on the main beach at the South Shore site. Today's application involves a 3-story boutique hotel with 34 rooms, with a restaurant and spa, 9 residential units, and 2 guest suites. In their planned objection, the area residents will claim that a third of the 13-acre estate is being reserved for Mr. King's 10,000-square-foot home, but there is no mention of this in his plan, although the house appears on the planning map. Victoria Pearman, the new ombudsman, is declining to comment on the claim of activist Raymond Russell that she met with him today in her office. She says it was in connection with a potential inquiry into how the Registrar General's office has handled the regulation of the financial affairs of the Bermuda Industrial Union over the years. Mr. Russell said he was delighted that his years of seeking justice for union members over their finances had been acknowledged.
What development has happened between you and the Ombudsman this past week that has probably filled your heart with some delight?
Well, so much delight, it's almost impossible to show you or talk how delighted I am that after 40 years of my concern about the Bermuda Industrial Union's, I don't know how to put it, debacle, when out of Assembly became president. And the way the accounts have been distributed economically among the membership, I have never been satisfied. And I have spent a lot of time working on behalf of the people through the Bermuda Industrial Union. Today, my heart is happy because having visited the Ombudsman's office and bringing up this subject, particularly of the Hampton Club debacle, $1,200,000 that they now have to pay back to the union.
Tell me what the Ombudsman's interest is.
Well, the Ombudsman's interest is that the Constitution of this country is adhered to by the Registrar General office, and that's what they're going to pursue. And I'm sure with the evidence that they have in hand, something definitely after a long time the people will get some justice, and that's my concern.
What has been your contribution so far to what the Ombudsman is doing?
Well, I have given them all the information, like the union files, etc., so that they can have a clear picture of what they're looking through. To even for the registrars to ignore the type of information that they have, it's beyond me. But at last, you know, we'll get some action on the way the union has been run, which is not fair to the union members or to the country, because what the members doesn't get, you know, the country through financial assistance has to pay, and that is not right.
A 42-year-old man appeared in court this morning and pled guilty to assaulting his neighbor and subsequently nearly breaking his jaw. Charles Cope of Southampton Parish admitted that during a neighborly dispute over putting trash out for collection, he assaulted his neighbor and caused a contusion to his jaw. The court heard that Cope had rushed to the edge of the property to confront the neighbor about the trash, and subsequently a heated argument erupted. Police were called to the scene, and Cope subsequently admitted that he had struck his neighbor. In court, Senior Magistrate Tocumbo said that violence was not the way to end disputes, and with that handed down a $1,000 fine. Employers will now be forced to abide by immigration laws concerning work permits, and if they don't, they could face fines up to $10,000 due to amendments that were made to the Immigration Protection Act. Minister of Home Affairs Michael Fay explained the new amendment, which will be implemented as of April the 1st.
As of the 1st of April, the Chief Immigration Officer will have the ability to fine people between $5,000 for a first offense and $10,000 for a second offense. Let's make it clear, if, for example, this is how it will work, if you have employed 7 individuals without a work permit, that's 5,000, 5,000, so it's 7 times 5. And then if it's a second offence, it's 10,000 per offence. So it's quite important that we understand that this government is doing everything it can to ensure that Bermudians are protected in the workplace, and that if people need to come to Bermuda and work, they need a work permit. And so this is a way that we're demonstrating that we're taking some of the things out there very seriously.
I think it was under your administration, the situation where I know Grotto Bay was called on that, and just recently, I believe this past week, a man was in court for working without a work permit. So you've really proven, I think, to people that were sort of skeptical that you really are cracking down on this.
Yeah, I think words are one thing, but actions, of course, are quite another. And without coming to individual cases, this is how we can demonstrate, look, this is not just a slap on the wrist. This is a very serious issue. If people are here working illegally, they should be punished for that. At the same time, we're always happy to work with employers. If employers need those work permits because there are no qualified Bermudians, and of course, that's what they're entitled to. Just don't buck the system and you'll be fine, is really the answer.
The long-awaited Earth Hour will be celebrated on Saturday evening in cities across the globe, and in Hamilton the lights will be out at 8:30 p.m. One of the volunteers behind the special events that will be held is Ashley Gillis, and she fills in the gaps of what will be a busy evening.
The whole community is part of the target. We want everybody out there. We have encouraged the schools, which Green Rock is doing extra work with them with the Eco School projects. But anybody is welcome.
You put a lot of store on that wonderful walk with the light. It's such a poetic thing that you do, and last year it was fun. Are you enlarging upon it in any way this year?
We've changed it slightly this year. So this year it's going to be the Walk of Flame, where participants will get a tea light illuminated by a glass jar to walk their way through the darkened streets of the city.
How far?
It's a 1.5-mile route this year. It's slightly shorter than last year, but we want them to get back so they can see most of the entertainment.
Which will be?
We've got a big lineup this year. We've got Rebecca Falconberry starting at 7:30, so they can see that prior to going on the walk, with her co-star Reeve Carney from Spider-Man Broadway in New York.
That's a big coup.
They start at 7:30 on the City Hall lawn. They will be performing some of their songs from the Broadway hit. And then from 8:30 we start with the Lights Out entertainment, which goes from Rockfire doing their dances with the illuminated fire, and we have a couple dance schools, In Motion School of Dance and Danceations. And then Troika will also be performing.
How many people will you think will come to this? Is it something that really people have to think about in terms of parking and getting there early?
Last year I would say we had about 250 to 300 people between the walk and the viewing of the event.
You want to do better than that, don't you?
Yes.
Because this is big time. This is Bermuda.
Yep, and Spider-Man is the overseas ambassador this year for the whole of Earth Hour. Spider-Man 2, the release of that movie, is joint with the Singapore Earth Hour, so we actually have a special part where we can have the Spider-Man Broadway.
Are we noted anywhere in the world of doing this? I mean,
we'll be on the timeline. We are on the earthhour.org website with what we are doing, and there's lists of what every country is doing if they are participating.
Still ahead is Che Barker with the weather preview.
Thanks, Kristen. Hey, let's take a look at the Doppler radar. As you can see, not a lot of moisture in the area, which is good news for the next couple of days. But will it hold out? I'll have more coming up later.
The weather radar picture provided courtesy of the Ministry of Transport on Vsb Tv 11.
You can count on us.
Purdue fresh whole chicken's only $2.19 per pound. Save 50 cents on imported romaine lettuce, just $2.99 each. All varieties of Minute Maid juice coolers, only $6.29 for a package of 10. Champion seedless raisins, just $3.59 for a 12-ounce box. For a healthy treat, all varieties of Chobani yogurt, only $1.69 for a 6-ounce tub. Visit our website at www.marketplace.bm for more weekly specials.
You can count on us.
For much more furniture, visit Bermuda's only Ashley Furniture Gallery, Big Savings Zone. You want the best? Forget the rest. For all your furniture needs, shop Big Savings Zone and support your local retailers. Have you ever ordered something online expecting it to be a certain price, but when it arrives it ends up being a whole lot more? Beware of those unexpected hidden fees. That never happens at Big Savings Zone. Open Tuesday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Big Savings Zone at the end of Stocks Road, St. David's.
April is Environmental Awareness Month, and VSB is committed to bringing you important facts. 1450 AM Gold and Mix 106 FM will broadcast Did You Know vignettes and interviews with local experts and government officials during the month of April. VSB TV 11 will show documentary films such as climate change, pollution and overfishing of our oceans, clean air, sewage, vanishing of the bees, and other topics. April is Environmental Awareness Month. Stay tuned to VSB Radio and Television for details.
Springtime is here, and that also means the annual Gibbons in Bloom Flower Show is taking place throughout next weekend. Designers have worked tirelessly to create breathtaking arrangements of vibrant colored flowers throughout the Gibbons Company stores. CEO of Gibbons, Paul Clark, spoke to VSB News about what is different and exciting about the flower show this year.
The designers have really excelled. They've been so creative in producing a new look. We have flowers on both Reed Street and our Church Street store side, as well as the home store. And they've really integrated a lot of interesting props and created environments that people can really get involved in. So it's really worth people coming to have a look at the Gibbons Company, Gibbons in Bloom, because it represents really the best of our landscape gardeners and our floral designers that we have here in Bermuda.
And this is probably in keeping with the whole springtime theme, Easter theme, beautiful colors, flowers.
Absolutely. I think that, we're coming out of winter, it is springtime, everybody's looking for something fresh and new. Fresh fashions are now on the floors of the stores, fresh decor. So we're trying to get people into Hamilton to shop locally and really appreciate what Bermuda has to offer in many areas.
And speaking sort of retail, how are you finding it? Are people coming out more and shopping locally, in particular with Gibbons Company?
Yes. I mean, I think that as a whole, the retail industry has really worked hard to engage the customer and show the value and the selection and variety that we have here in Bermuda. And I know, speaking from Gibbons' point of view, we're never really happy with what we're doing. We're always looking to improve. So we're always looking for the next thing. And we always have exciting new projects to bring to Bermuda.
People are encouraged to come out this weekend and next with their families to see the lush flower exhibits. Bermuda's annual Triple Challenge will take place in a week's time, with up to 1,000 participants taking part in running, obstacle courses, and other fitness testing challenges from Warwick Bay to Casemates Barracks and Dockyard. The fundraising competition is the brainchild of Dr. Reed Robinson, who gives VSB News' Brian Darby a breakdown.
This is our third year now. The first year was obviously two years ago. And that was the founding year, which Chris Global were our founding sponsors. And what that was a completely off-road event, mimicking what many people have seen as the Tough Mudder or Spartan Race.
So we do it here, 3 different places?
Yes, so we're doing it 3 different places. This is our first year. We have a global vision, so to speak, and with that what we want to do is not only raise money for local charities, but we also want to inspire a new sports tourism product. And we'd also like to get people out there exercising because, as you know, that in Bermuda we're one of the sickest countries in the world as it relates to obesity and diabetes. So this is a great teamwork event to get people out there exercising.
It's the healthy ones that turn out.
It generally speaking is, but I think what happens is that inspires people from all walks of the community to get out there and work as a team, because some of these challenges, the actual obstacles, you can't do completely on your own. So,
how many people did you get out last year?
Last year in total between the 3 races we had approximately 700.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're probably hoping for more.
We're hoping for more this year, and it's going to be a little bit different because we're doing all 3 events on one weekend, and it just so happens to coincide with school breaks and Easter and that kind of thing. it's going to be a little bit more challenging to get those numbers, but absolutely we'd like to see that. And this is the first year we're opening it up internationally. So this is our quote-unquote tester year internationally, and we're going to market hardcore next year and see if we can get at least 500 to 1,000 people from overseas.
Now here's a look at the daily markets presented by Bias.
Equity markets witnessed increased interest as positive economic data came in from the U.S. and Europe. Bond prices fell as capital rotated to equities. In the U.S., stocks climbed after a two-day slide as consumer shares rose amid data showing household purchases increased the most in 3 months. The S&P 500 gained 0.46% to close at 1,858. Bank of Butterfield shares were heavily traded on the Bermuda Stock Exchange today, with the stock price falling 0.5%. Other Bermuda-related stocks listed in the U.S. closed higher. European stocks closed the week higher, erasing their losses for the year, after economic confidence in the euro area rose for an 11th straight month. The German DAX closed at 9,587, up 1.44%. Japanese index rose for a fifth day, capping its biggest weekly advance in 4 months, as consumer lenders and airlines led gains. The Nikkei was up 0.5% at the end of trading. Brazilian stocks rose after an increase in commodity prices supported the outlook for the country's exporters. The Vsb ended the day at 49,742, up by 0.19%. U.S. Treasury prices fell for the first time in 3 days after positive economic data boosted speculation the Federal Reserve will continue reducing stimulus. The 5-year Treasury yield rose 3 basis points at the end of trading. The yen depreciated against the dollar as Japan continues its monetary easing under Prime Minister Abe's economic plan. The yen lost 0.62% against the U.S. dollar as of the last trade. And that was a look at the daily markets brought to you by Bias.
Save $2 on red ripe California strawberries, just $4.99 for a 1-pound package. Certified Angus beef sirloin tip steaks, only $5.99 per pound. All varieties of Betty Crocker cookie mix, just $3.39 for a 17.5-ounce bag. Mott's apple juice, only $4.59 for a 64-ounce plastic bottle. Bluebonnet margarine sticks, just $1.59 for a 1-pound box. All stores open Monday through Saturday until 10 p.m. and Sunday 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. for your shopping convenience.
Copyfax is Bermuda's authorized Samsung dealer. See a large range of Samsung color and black and white multifunctional machines, printers, scanners, faxes, and copiers, and all networkable. Copyfax has Samsung machines suitable for home, office, or any size business in an A4 format, taking up less room than other similar equipment. And replacement supplies are in stock for all of their Samsung products. Affordable shopping at Copyfax Limited, where service comes first.
Potential Bermudian models gathered at T&Tata Middle School yesterday for the first of 4 modeling calls that could expose them to international fashion mavens during July's City Fashion Festival at City Hall. International liaison for the festival, Shayona Turini, is optimistic that local models will shine this 4th year of the popular fashion extravaganza.
We had an excellent turnout. I was really surprised last year, so I think it'll get even better because the production itself last year was so top-notch. I think a lot of other people would want to be involved in it this year.
Now, you're having some mentors come in. Tell me about them.
We have teamed up with professionals in the international fashion industry, so it's from magazines as big as Elle Magazine, Cosmopolitan, Complex, Nylon, from fashion brands such as jewelry designers Eddie Borgo, and they are committing to mentor Bermudian aspiring designers for a 3-month period, and during the week of the City Fashion Festival, they will present with their mentees a collection that they develop over the 3-month period.
Is there a possibility that one, at least, of these models will end up on one of the glossy fashion magazines?
Well, I cannot predict the future, but I hope so. I have a lot of faith in the talent that we nurture here with this program and just within Bermuda, and so it's definitely one of the goals. It's not the only goal. It of course, we encourage every woman who wants to be a model, but part of this fashion festival is kind of nurturing the talent when it comes to designers and even like event production. So we have a global scope of the whole initiative, and it's a little bit broader than just someone wanting to be on the runway.
Now, you have experience with models. Are Bermudians disciplined enough to undertake the rigors of modeling?
That's an excellent question. I do think that Bermudians are disciplined enough. I don't think they always know all of the requirements that's involved in kind of making modeling a career, because in Bermuda, just because we're so small, and so we have maybe not as many demands that someone would need on an international level, but I feel like that all of the young people that I encounter are so passionate about it that I think that as soon as they're educated about what's required for it, they're definitely willing to step up to the plate and do it.
April is Environmental Awareness Month, and Vsb Tv 11 is airing relevant documentaries exploring environmental issues concerning all of us on Wednesdays and Fridays at 10 a.m. and 9 p.m. for the month of April. Sponsored by Auto Solutions, Roll With Us, Belco, The Power to Save, and Lindo's Why Go Anyplace Else. Environmental Awareness Month on Vsb Tv 11.
The huge vote of approval that was extended today by some of the world's top senior golf players to the 5th annual Grey Goose World Par 3 Championship has borne out the vision of Anthony Maklow, Director of Golf at the Fairmont Southampton Resort's Turtle Hill Golf Club. Among those looking forward to the 36-hole championship, which starts tomorrow, was British golfing legend Gary Wolstenholme, 3-time European Seniors Tour winner.
And I think the great thing about par 3 golf is it's quick. It's easy to cover on TV because you don't need as many cameras. And I think most of the players really enjoyed the challenge that it presents, especially on a golf course like this where the wind is such a factor.
Like cricket being turned from a 5-day game into a 20-over game.
Well, yeah, I think that's exactly right. And there's quite a few sports that have looked to try and speed up the entertainment as much as is possible with 2020 cricket, obviously. And there's a number of other five-a-side football, sevens in rugby, and then obviously the par 3 format for golf. So I think it's the way forward personally. I think more courses should be created, certainly in Britain, and I think you could then create a tour of itself, and it's in itself.
And for a tourist island there can't be anything better.
Well, certainly from this perspective, the nice thing about it is there's a limit on land. So a par 3 course obviously needs a lot less land than an 18-hole golf course, and especially in this day and age where the big championship courses are getting towards 8,000 yards. Well, you need a big piece of real estate to be able to build a decent 7,600-yard course, whereas on a par 3 course it can be as short or as long as you want.
This is your ideal?
I would say pretty much ideal, because you've got the big elevation changes. That in itself creates a test, because you can have 3 holes that are basically the same yardage but play completely different clubs because of the elevation changes, and that's certainly relevant here with the wind as well. But it's the setting, the whole setting with the hotel in the background. They've got gardens everywhere. It's a beautiful place to play golf.
And having people of your stature here, it only just makes it more attractive.
Well, it makes it more interesting for me personally as a competitor to be able to have all these great players, because all of a sudden their driving ability, which people like Barry Lane hit at 300 yards, I can't do that, but I can compete around a par 3 course. So that creates a completely different element as far as I'm concerned. I love playing par 3 tournaments. There's a couple of guys here that I would say will definitely have a great opportunity of winning. Simon Brown on our tour is another great par 3 specialist, and you get the likes of Mark Mouland as well. He's got a great short game, so he's looking forward to this format, and we don't get the opportunity to do it very often, so this will be a really interesting experiment.
Choose to be healthy, Bermuda. Get out there and exercise with a sunscreen, hat, and shirt on every day. Eat healthy, don't smoke, and check your brown spots once a month to detect skin cancer early. Anything growing darker, bigger, jagged borders, needs to be checked. Wear your sunscreen, hat, and shirt every day. Be sun safe, Bermuda.
Well, after yesterday's practically abysmal weather, today seemed positively balmy. I'm Shea Barker, and this is your weather. Let's take a look at our weather shot for today, and this is a pretty good representation of the day. It was a little gray, a little overcast, not too cool, but at least that wind had died down, and it was all in all, it wasn't that bad a day. This shot taken by Jessica Raymond of Devonshire, looking over South Shore. And you see these coconut palms. I'm told an interesting fact that Bermuda is the most northerly location where the coconut grows. You learn something new every day. Our highs and lows for today, well, our high was 66, so it didn't get all that warm at 3 p.m., but our low temperature, 58 at 6 a.m. this morning. Currently, we're looking at 65 degrees. Humidity is 55%. Winds out of the east-southeast at 13 knots, and the barometric pressure is falling at 30.38 inches. So far for March, we've seen about 4.16 inches worth of rain. Brings our total all the way up to 18.47 inches. Normally, though, we'd have seen 14.32 inches. Take a look at our satellite map. Well, that ridge of high pressure is going to remain over the area, providing mainly fair weather through Saturday. Now, on Sunday, though, a low will approach from the northwest, increasing winds to strong. Now, that associated cold front will then bring showers overnight on Sunday with heavier precipitation and a chance of thunder looking at around Monday morning. In the gateway cities in Atlanta, it'll be rainy and 72, 50 and rain in Boston. Charlotte, rain and 71. London, we're looking at sunny and 66 degrees. 84, nice, mostly cloudy in Miami. New York, possible rain and 49. 83 and possibility of rain in Orlando. Philadelphia, almost looks like it might rain and 53. 37 in Toronto and partly cloudy. And Washington, rain and 57 degrees. For tonight, looking at a low temperature of around 61 degrees, mostly cloudy, winds out of the east-southeast at 10 to 15 knots. For tomorrow, sunny periods, 1 or 2 morning showers, high of around 68, winds out of the east-southeast at 10 to 15 knots, but they will increase to 12 to 18 knots and then switch out of the southeast overnight. For mariners tonight, no small craft warnings in effect. Seas inside the reef, 1 to 2 feet. Seas outside the reef, 4 to 8 feet, and the sea temperature, 69 degrees. For mariners tomorrow, there are no warnings in effect. Seas inside the reef, 1 to 2 feet. Seas outside the reef, 3 to 6 feet. High tide, we're looking at 8:04 a.m. and low tide at 2:24 p.m. Let's take a look at our 5-day forecast. Saturday, sunny periods, 1 or 2 morning showers, high of around 68. Sunny, mostly cloudy, 1 or 2 early showers, then a few overnight, high of around 70. Monday, mostly cloudy, showers, a chance of early thunder, decreasing afternoon, high of around 69. Tuesday, sunny breaks, 1 or 2 morning showers, high of 64. And Wednesday, partly cloudy, high of 66. And let's take a look at our photo of the week winner. I'm going to come on because I got space here this time. This is taken, actually, I'm told, at the St. George's golf course because as we know it's not in service. This is just a great shot. See that blue water off in the distance? It's a pretty good stroke. I mean, you make sure you keep your head down here, but this is a lovely shot of this sent in by Cindy Swan. I don't know if that's Kim Swan. Maybe. Let's say yes. But congratulations to Cindy. She is our winner of Dinner for Two, and make sure you send your shot in next time or you could be our winner of Dinner for Two. I'd like to thank the Bermuda Weather Service for all their help. To the rest of you, enjoy your weekend. I know I will. See you again real soon.
From all of us here at VSB, I'm Kristen Martinez, and have a great weekend.
Wardrobe and makeup for Kristen Martinez, provided by Gibbons Company.
Vsb Tv 11, Bermuda.